the reason I'm using toilet paper is because it's perfect for the example. I want to, let's say, when you're in a race and you have the ribbon, that's how they call it, the ribbon? And for example, the marathon runners, when they are finishing the race, the winner, he has to go through like a ribbon, and he breaks the ribbon with his body, and on top it says the finish line. So let me tell you something. Okay. Okay, thank you. So let's say this is the finish line of a race, okay? And here it says 2018 finish line. And here on the back, it says 2019 start. So this is what I want to try to teach you. The only difference between 2018 and 2019 is 1 second. It's not 1 month. It's not 3 months. It's not 1 week. It's 1 second. So December the 31st at 11:59 p.m. and 59 seconds, you are here finishing 2018, and 1 second later, you are here. Y ahora cógelo así otra vez. Now you're here starting 2019. Repeat after me. 1 second. How many seconds? 1. So, listen. 2018's finish line marks 2019's start line. So if God is telling us that He's going to take us to the next level, we have to be very careful, because maybe some of you are waiting for the new year to start to begin experiencing what God has for you. Thinking that second is magical. And that the moment that you go through from 11:59:59 to 12:00, 1 second of 2019, the first second, magically your debts are going to disappear. Your resentments are going to dilute and evaporate. And everything that you hate in your life is going to change. And magically, you're going to enter into God's next level for you. We need more than a second to make the adjustments to prepare ourselves for next level. And I'm here to let you know, I have a word from God for you. I have a word from God for you. God is going to take you to the next level. But you cannot wait till 11:59:59 to begin making the necessary adjustments, because then you're going to delay everything God has for you. And you're not going to have enough time to gain momentum. So you cannot allow December, and the way we usually see December is like a moment in time where we pause our lives and then we lose momentum. And when we come into New Year, we think that suddenly everything is going to be new, everything is going to be perfect, everything is going to feel fine. And you cannot lose momentum. Like in a race, if you lose momentum, it's much more difficult to gain momentum again and begin running again. And go back to the speed you had before you stopped. And it's like when you stop in a diet or making exercise, you stop a week, 2 weeks, and then just to go back again, it's like hell. It's more difficult than the first time. So, listen to me. If you want to start strong in 2019, you need to finish strong in 2018. If you want to start strong in 2019, you need to finish strong in 2018. I need to tell you something very important. What is gonna change your life is not the change of a date, it's a decision. So if you're waiting for those Hispanics, Año Nuevo, Vida Nueva, it's not going to happen. It's a song in Spanish that many countries sing. It means new year, new life. So some people think that just because it's a new year, we're going to have a new life. No, that's a lie. It's new year, same life. So the lack of discipline you bring from 2018 is going to come with you to 2019. The bad decisions you make in 2018, they're going to come with you to 2019. But in the same way, the things you begin to fix and the adjustments you begin to make now in 2018, they're going to come to you with you to 2019. So you don't need a change of a year for a new life. What you need is to make a decision. And let me tell you, this morning a guy came here and I saw him, never seen him here before. And I said, this guy looks like a pastor. I mean, not like a pastor, like a pastor, you know, okay? And I saw him, he began crying. At the end of the service, he came and said, Pastor, let me tell you, I don't know what brought me here to this place. I only know that I've seen you once or twice in the Pastoral Association years ago. He said, I've been a pastor since I'm 15 and I'm 53. He said, I was a pastor for over 30 years. And 3 years ago, my wife left me out of the blues. And my denomination took away my ministry from me. I hadn't committed adultery. I haven't done anything wrong. They just said, you are a divorced man. He said, but I haven't done anything wrong. She left. She said, you cannot pastor like this. And I lost everything. I lost my marriage. I lost my family. I lost my house. I lost my ministry. And for 3 years, I mean, basically living on the streets. He said, and for 6 months, I've been doing the opposite of what you have been preaching. And I know that word was for me. I know God is going to do something different in me for 2019, but I need to change now. He said, but I know God brought me here. Let me tell you, God brought you here today to listen to this word. You gotta believe that. And you don't have to wait until January the 1st for a better life. I have a word from God that will build your faith and motivate you to start today. And it's in Isaiah 43:16. God grant me the wisdom and the communication ability. Isaiah 43:16 says, I am the Lord who opened a way through the waters, making a dry path through the sea. I called forth the mighty army of Egypt with all its chariots and horses. Listen to this. So Israel is fleeing from Pharaoh, and they have the sea in front of them, and they have all of Pharaoh's and Egypt's army behind them, and they're about to die. And maybe you've been in situations where you feel that you cannot go forward because you just can't. There's something there, and bad things are like persecuting you, and you say, but why am I going through this? And God is saying, I am the one. I called forth the mighty army of Egypt with all its chariots and horses. Sometimes some bad things that are coming after us were called by God. Sometimes God puts us in positions where we don't have anything. There's nothing we can do. Only God can do something. And they're there, and God says, I drew them beneath the waves, and they drowned. Their lives snuffed out like a smoldering candlewick. Let me tell you, I believe that in 2019, God is going to drown things that have been present in your life that have not allowed you to live the great life God has for you. And those things that have been there, they are going to drown, and their lives will be snuffed out like a smoldering candlewick. I mean, they're going to look at, and you're going to go like, I cannot believe this. I have not been able to do nothing with this for years, and suddenly it isn't there anymore. God is going to do that in 2019. But forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I am going to do. For I am about to do something new. Repeat after me, something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. Church, I know what I'm hearing from the Spirit. And I know the Spirit gave me this word for you. But I cannot preach with such strength that you will believe it, because I'm going to get a hernia. I can do in my communication. There's no strength that there's no force that I can use to make you believe. I just know God gave me this word for you. And this word begins by establishing who is the one speaking. It says, I am the Lord who. I am the Lord who. I am the Lord who opened a way through the waters. I am the Lord who. And maybe you say, oh, Pastor, that sounds very nice. Okay, he's the Lord who opened the waters for Israel thousands of years ago. That's who he is. No, no, no. The Lord is saying, I am the Lord who. There's a family here. His name, well, the guy's name is Alvaro Munoz. And I told him this morning, Alvaro Munoz, I am the Lord who delivered you from alcoholism and restored your marriage. Jackie, God says, I am the Lord who healed you after the fall you had and gave you all the provisions you needed, and now you're healed and you're whole again. I am the Lord. Stephen, Mr. Stephen, I am the Lord who has given you the strength in the middle of the things you have to go through in the last 3, 4, 5 years of your life. And now, as you told me maybe a couple of weeks ago, you said, I found life. I found the truth. Me at my age, I'm happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I am the Lord. You see, that's the Lord who. He's the one who did that. And God is saying, and for example, Carlos Arangi Leon, another couple, Carlos Arangi Leon, I am the Lord who restored your marriage when you were about to be divorced. Or I can tell Daniel and Ana Maria Garcia from the corner, the cafeteria here. Daniel and Ana Maria, I am the Lord who saved your son's life 1 month and a half ago, going on a motorcycle 100 miles per hour, going into a truck. The motorcycle exploded. He flew through the air, and he doesn't have even one scratch. I am the Lord who saved your son. Not 6,000 years ago, 1 month and a half ago. Or Jose Victor, I am the Lord who took you from the ashes when nobody gave a penny for you and they thought your ministry was over, and I raised you again and I've given you something beautiful. I am the Lord who did that. And for me it's important because I never thought this would happen. I never thought I would be with young people because I thought I was Moses, not Joshua. Moses about to kick the bucket, man. Like there, like. And God told me, I was with Prof in Calvary. He said, you know what? Your word is relevant for this generation. I didn't call you to edify a church for a generation that is dying. I call you to edify a church for a generation that is rising. And that doesn't mean age. Because for God, a dying generation doesn't have to do with age. Has to do with the heart, with something new that he's about to do. So you know who's speaking? The Lord. The I am. The I am is speaking. Not the I am 6,000 years ago. The I am today. So he's the one that gave me this word for you. I am is speaking to us today. Exodus 3:13 says, but Moses protested. If I go to the people of Israel and tell them, the God of your ancestors has sent me to you, they will ask me, what is his name? Then what should I tell them? God replied to Moses, I am who I am. Say this to the people of Israel. I am has sent me to you. That's so crazy. I am. That's a Hebrew word. I am. Haya means the one who is. Has to do with God's eternity. God is saying, and the God that is speaking today is the God that is eternal. The God who was, has ever been. The God who is, who will ever be. You see, God doesn't change. God doesn't vary. God is trustworthy. He's always the same. That's I am. I am means the one who remains, the God that perseveres, the God that never abandons. You know, maybe your father abandoned you. God will never abandon you. God is not that transportation. When I came to Miami and we wanted to buy our first car many years ago, they would tell us, you need a transportation. Transportation basically is a gas chamber with wheels. That's what it is, a gas chamber with wheels. And you arrive to every place smelling like smoke, you know. And they tell you, wow, Pastor, what perfume is that? That's Smoky Ashes by Paco Rabanne. Okay? You will never use one of those cars maybe to go to Orlando or New York because you know you will end up in the middle of the turnpike, maybe at night, because they are not trustworthy. God won't leave you in the middle of life. even if sometimes it feels like it. He won't leave you in the middle. He won't throw you away. He won't desert you, because he's the one who remains until the end. That's the I am. I am also means in the Hebrew that God, this, it will certainly come to pass. So it's the God that fulfills his promises. So you know who's speaking to us today? I am, the eternal, the one that doesn't change, that doesn't vary. You know who's speaking to us today? The one who perseveres, the one who finishes everything he starts. You know who's speaking to us today? The one who fulfills his promises. Everything God is telling us will come to pass, because it's not a word from Jose Victor Dugand. It's a word from the I am, through Jose Victor Dugand. And verse 18 says, but forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I am going to do. For I am about to do something new. God is saying, do you think what I did in your life was amazing? Because sometimes, I remember, I used to pastor a 5,000 people church. Let me tell you, the parking lot, we had to call police and everything. And the neighbors came to complain. There's no, and we moved to this area of the city because it was peaceful. And then you came, and now there, every Sunday it's like 2 hours to go away from come out of our house, and 2 hours to come in back again, because you have thousands of cars here. It was like that. It was amazing. And sometimes I have this tendency, this temptation to remember that and say, oh, I wish we had that, and I wish we had. And God is saying, no. Be careful. Don't put your eyes in the good things of the past, because the good things of the past can be the hindrance to the great things I'm going to do today. God says, forget all that. Que hagan silencio allá atrás, por favor. Do you think I could be dressed like this if I wouldn't forget all that? Do you think I would have worn those square pants? Not the SpongeBob square pants, but the pants I had last night, if I hadn't forgotten everything. Look at that. I mean, please. Okay? Everybody had to do with my pants last night. Thanks to my personal coach and designer, fashion designer. So when you love what I'm wearing, just let her know. If you hate what I'm wearing, just let me know. Okay? And yes, that's it. That's how it goes. Yes. No. So listen to this. God is saying, but forget all that, because all the great things I've done in your life, that is nothing compared to what I'm about to do. That is nothing. Do you think what I did in your life was amazing? That is nothing compared to what I'm about to do now. Listen to this. Don't let the good things of the past keep you stagnant. God is about to do something new and greater in your life. Listen to this. God is about to do something new and greater, but you won't be able to see the new and the greater if you think that what he did before maybe was good and it was great for that time. That is like the greatest he can do. No. God always can surpass what he did in the past. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for that word. I don't know where it came from, but it came. Okay? Something new. The word new in the Bible means something fresh, something recent, brand new. Listen to this. Healthy, natural, not artificial. That is the exact definition when God says that he said, but forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I'm about to do. For I am about to do something new, means something fresh. I don't know about you, but I love fresh food. I hate stale food, especially saltines, crackers. Have you eaten old crackers? I mean, you can choke on those things. And you know those crackers that you have to put like a whole pat of butter so they can taste like good because they are like old? Have you eaten old lettuce? Like the color, you go to a restaurant like, I mean, how many years have they had this lettuce in the fridge, man? And then you go to a restaurant and they have like fresh veggies and you go like, wow. I mean, I hate vegetables. I hate it. I eat like the basic tomato, lettuce, and believe it or not, cauliflower. Cauliflower, I mean, that's you graduate with cauliflower, okay? And yes, not a lot of people eat cauliflower. So when you love cauliflower, you love. So when you're gonna eat veggies and you go to a restaurant and the veggies are fresh, it's different experience. You know what God is saying? Yes, I did great things in your life, but those great things, they are not fresh anymore. You're still living from old miracles I did in your life. And that's why your spiritual life and your emotional life tastes like that. And when you are living out of old miracles, it's like living out of old manna in the desert. And God gave the manna, and the manna could only last one day. And if you ate the manna the next day, if you saved it for the next day, immediately it had worms. You know, God does things like that so that we depend on Him every day and expect something great from Him every day. And some people have been living out of the manna of 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And you know what happens when you are like that? You begin to feel empty, and you begin to feel that your spiritual life is not where it should be, and you know you're not there, and you know that's not what God intended for you to be living. So you know what we do? We begin in our own strength to try to produce what we think we should be living at that moment. So instead of allowing the Holy Spirit to organically or spiritually or naturally spiritually produce that life, we begin to produce that life in our own strength and flesh. So we produce something artificial. So I cannot imagine how many Christians are living an artificial spiritual life that is not the result or the fruit of a personal relationship with God, something fresh, something new. God is telling you, you don't have to keep on living an artificial spiritual life. I'm about to do something new, something fresh, something organic, something natural, something that will satisfy you. I'm ready for this. And then he says, see, I have already begun. Do you not see it? So God, I think God is playing tricks on us. I think God is naughty sometimes. And baby, this reminded me when we sent Santi and Pauli to New York. You see that, I don't know if you know the story, but when we opened a church in New York years ago, 13, 14 years ago, and we felt from the Lord that the people that had to go pastor a church were Santiago and Paulina Proaño, and they were like our sons, I mean, best friends. But the Holy Spirit spoke to us, and they need to go. So the whole team had been going to New York like for 2 weeks, 1 week, and the only couple that had not been in New York were Santi and Pauli. I remember that. And the Holy Spirit says, they are the ones that have to go pastor. So I didn't know how to tell them, because I knew it was very difficult. It was going to be very difficult for them to get separated. So, you know, I told them, Santi, Pauli went to it, and I said, you know what? All the team has been in New York, except you guys. New York is incredible. So, you know, I'm a good salesman. Man. I can sell a hole, okay? I said, New York is incredible. And, you know, on Central Park, and the carriages, you know, the horse carriages. And they were like, wow, have you never been there? Let's do something. Why don't you guys go with us this weekend, Santi and I, just to meet the people? He said, wow, we would love, Pastor. He said, you know what? I think a weekend is too short. Let's go 2 weekends. We can go Friday and then stay like 10 days, and we come back next Monday. Oh, incredible. You know, Santi, in 2 weeks, we won't do anything. Why don't you go for a month? In a month, you can disciple some people. And they're like, okay, a month, okay. And I'm like, New York is incredible. I mean, New York, you have to go, you know, to Lincoln Center, and you love concerts and jazz, and I'm selling this thing. Okay, so what do you think? 3 months then? Like, 3 months? Okay. So decided then, you're going to stay there a semester. And they're looking at each other like, okay, so let's go speak to your parents to tell them that you're going to stay there 6 months. Okay, so we go there, and we're there with their parents, and we told them. So I tell them, just wanted to let you know that Santi and Pauli are going to be the new pastors of our church in New York. So I went from 1 weekend to their whole lives, which has been already 14 years, in 2 hours. I think that is what God is doing here. I'm the one who did all those incredible things in your life. Oh, thank you. A weekend. Yes, incredible. But what I'm about to do is greater. Oh. But don't you see it? I already began. So he's taking us like in a process of building our faith so that we are able to see what is already happening. Because that word, where it says see, that word see means recognize, detect, experience. And what God is doing is he took us first to our past so that we know it's him who is speaking to us, the God that did those great things. But at the same time, he cannot leave us in the past. So he takes us to the past so we know who is speaking to us. Then he brings us and takes us to the future and tells us, but I'm about to do great things, and our faith begins to build. And then he says, I already begun. And I think what God is doing, he's tricking us so that we can begin to take action. So that we understand that we don't have to wait for the future. He already began, and we need to make some decisions now. Not 12:01, January the 1st, 2019. When we focus in the past, we miss what God is doing today. Let me say that again. When we focus in the past, we miss what God is doing today. Listen, we have to learn to use the past as a lesson, not as a goal. I'm going to say that again. We need to learn to use the past. All the good things God has done or the bad things we have experienced, everything. We need to learn to see that as a lesson in life, not as a goal in life. And some people are desiring the good things from the past. Listen, the biggest enemy we have to enjoy what God has for us today is not the bad things from the past, it's the good things from the past. Because we keep on living trying to repeat that, and we're like desiring that, yearning that, because those moments gave us great satisfaction, great happiness. We saw growth. We saw people change, or you saw a better house, you had a better car, and you had a greater life. And you're trying to repeat that, so you end up living the rest of your life trying to repeat what you lived in 2012. And God is saying, no, I have something greater and I already begun, but you cannot see it. Your present status is not a hindrance to what God is about to do in your life. Pastor, if you knew where we are, this marriage, there's no way of saving this marriage. I think that you don't know who is speaking to you. Pastor, yes, I've always wanted to build a business, whatever, but I've tried, numerous times. I always fail. I don't know what else to do. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. Listen what God is telling you today. He says he will make a pathway through the wilderness. Pathway means a course of life, a way of acting. It means to go through. God is telling you, I don't know what you've gone. He knows. He's saying, I understand what you've been going through the last years, but let me tell you, you think there's not a way through? I'm going to make a way through in 2019. In fact, I'm already making a way through. Don't you see it? No, Lord, I can't, because I have like an image of what I think should be happening, and because of what I lived in the past and the success I had. So I'm trying to use that and disguise it like if it was the future or what you have for me now. So that reference I have in the past is, I don't see it as a lesson, but I see it more like a point of reference, like an objective in my life, because I want to go back there because it was so incredible. I felt so special or whatever. Now I'm taking that and I'm transplanting that into the future, thinking that that is what you want me to be or what you want me to do. So I don't see it. And God says, no, it's not that. I'm doing something new. Something new, something new. Yes, they criticize me. Some people don't want to hang with me anymore. Hang out. They want to hang me, not hang out with me. Because they think that I lost my mind. Because they don't understand what new means. They think new means old with makeup. They think new means a dead body with makeup. No, God didn't call me to be a dead pastor with makeup, with ripped jeans. He called me to be a new man, a new pastor, something new. But I had to go to another church to see what I couldn't see in my church. That's why I go now to Elevation, and I go to Hillsong, and I go to conferences. Are you learning? No. I'm seeing. I'm seeing what I couldn't see in my own house. I go and I see and I breathe. I breathe faith for the new. Faith for the new. And if you keep on hanging out with the same crowd, you'll be doing the same stuff for the rest of your life. You have to risk it. You have to risk knowing new people, meeting new people. People that are doing things different than you. You need to re-engineer yourself. You have to envision yourself different. You have to reinvent yourself, because if not, you'll always be living in the old. But the old, for some people, is better because I know the old. I know how to manage the old. I know how the old works. And for the old, I don't need faith. I just need experience. And I have it already. And God says, no, but without faith, you cannot please my heart. So I'm going to take you out from the place of experience where you don't need faith. I'm going to put you in a place where you don't have experience, and the only thing you need is faith.